lore accurate exploration and resource building game. So you come in on that side of the map and you sail around the island of Cyprus, and we have like kind of unusual sailing mechanics that are based on like 8 points of wind. And you kind of draw those randomly and you're competing with people all the while like this storm is rotating around Cyprus. So in a way it's kind of like a Dune sandstorm mechanic if you've ever played that game. So anyway, if you make it past the storms and you aren't swept around everywhere, you're going to end up at these little palaces, and at each one of these you can have an encounter which will inevitably get you gifts, which are kind of the currency, but they come in all different varieties with special abilities. And those gifts can also be used to make an alliance with these palaces. And once you have an alliance with these palaces, you can start forming little trade networks, and they will lore accurately according to 1177 BC, which I guess is getting combined with the Greek myth, the kind of Greek myth, because so you can start up trade networks, right? But the next big component, and it's getting a little crazy, right? It's already a lot to keep track of. But so we have this stack of Helen of Troy's. This is set around the Odyssey, like Odysseus's return from the Trojan War. Actually, no, wait. It's set right before the Odyssey. Yeah. And so there's all these Helens, these phantom Helens, which apparently happened in the Greek stories. Like Helen of Troy would be whisked all around the map. And so another component is you got kind of like a Harry Potter snitch mechanic in a way. Like each person's kind of racing for a different objective, if that makes sense. You have like a character who's really good at diplomacy, and they're gonna like make a lot of allies and become so wealthy that it won't matter that someone else has the Helen, because it's like, well, you're a billionaire, you know, or whatever it was back then, 50 barrels of grain in air. And then you got a character kind of competing to destroy as many cities as possible. That's another action you can take, and kind of sack all their wealth and be like a tyrant. And then you have Paris, who in the story like was the one who kind of whisked away Helen, is the one who has the advantage in getting the real Helen. So, and you can all kind of fight each other, and there's like cards to set each other back as well. So it's like, it's a weird 4-way race. And then the last person I guess I didn't mention is kind of a controlling player, and they try to stop everyone else from winning. Like if they can hold everyone else down, they will do well. So like you have this kind of interesting politics strategy, kind of inspired by Magic the Gathering Commander, where you can have different players like with kind of co-aligning objectives sometimes, so that there's like some teaming, and that's made better by the fact that you can trade these gifts with people. So you can do some really juicy team up strats, which is I guess kind of inspired from the Catan trading mechanics, which is a simple game but goes really far with just a couple of mechanics. And then yeah, let's see, we have theme cards as well. And the way you get theme cards is you stay out at sea longer. So if you get to a palace, you're gonna be chilling, you're not gonna get hit by the storm. But if you stay out at sea, you get more theme cards, which is kind of the, like, it's like your influence with the gods, essentially. It's like how epic you are. Like, yeah, if you're just going and like sheltering every night, like that's not a good story. Like Odysseus was fucking out in like huge waves with sirens all around him, you know, he was staying out there. And so you get more theme cards, and with those theme cards, you can essentially like, you have like ways to affect the game. So you can change like the weather in cool ways. You can rotate these cards to like throw other people off. You can use your allies to capture people. You can just throw random atmospheric effects at them. Then we have some god cards that have more powerful effects. Then there are also a couple of miscellaneous Easter eggs, like Proteus's Island from the Odyssey, where if you end up in this radius for too long, you'll get sucked in and you'll have to wrestle Proteus to escape. We've got Thebes, which you have to sail down a little delta to. We've got some interesting and funny gifts. For instance, the Rat's gift, which is not tradable once you get it and takes up cargo space. But you can get the Cat gift, which is the model member role in my server, by the way. Oh, there he is. These are a little bare bones right now, but you can see gifts kind of fit in there. And the gold ones are light, they're infinitely stackable, they're kind of rare. And then you can also occasionally get experts from hospitality encounters. So there's this hospitality deck hosting, which gives you like a unique encounter every time, and some little story happens to you, kind of inspired by arcane horror. And Arabian Nights maybe. And then we have our damage tokens. So you can have gifts, right? But when you get hit by the storm, we used to have like hit point sliders, but now we just all store it in the gifts. So we have like damage and swept to. So if you take a swept to, you're getting rotated around with the storm. And if you take a damage, then you can't store something there. And this isn't tradable. And it's got to be just healed by getting repair item gifts or just having encounters where they happen to be nice to you. And the cool thing with the sweeping mechanic is every person that gets hit by a storm is getting these tokens. And as you draw these sweep tokens, the storm moves further and therefore hits more players. So you get these awesome turns where like everyone gets hit at once and like gets completely mixed up. And you have to kind of time it well and like jump in and out of the cities, and then it gets really gnarly towards the end game because everyone like has all these alliances, so there's like no safe places to go anymore, and you've got to just do crazy shit, which means you're staying out at sea, which means you're getting more theme cards, which means more cool stuff is happening, and then you have a final showdown at the end of the game after 12 turns, which is short, but each card is like a month, and you got to play very tactfully. It's like supposed to be kind of a technical game. And then you want to sail off the board because you'll get a double point bonus if you can do that. However, this is the most treacherous part of the board at the most treacherous part of the game, and you could just lose all your gifts if you go for it. So that's that's kind of the state of the game right now. Let's go see if our agent finished. So we read in from a Google sheet. And I just kind of vibed this all together. I used to write it by hand, but the vibes are getting good. So I pull in like the Google Sheets for the different components of my game. So actually, let's search without Git. So let's look at gifts. So you can see this is kind of data sheet of all the different like its values for these gift commodities. They're printing in debug mode right now, but if I switch over to gift and then hit preview. Oh, I forgot to change it. I'm using the live types preview plugin for NVim, and there we go. So now we have sticker printing. So this is specifically laid out like this so that it can be printed on sticker sheets. And you can see I've changed things a little bit from what you see in the physical medium. We have slightly different colors. Yeah, so there's that. And then we also have the theme cards, different components currently also in debug mode, all generated from these sheets, and then they're fed through the types compiler, and that outputs an image, and it could also output like SVGs, and it's a nice little piece of software. I really admire the guys at the types team. I talked to Lorenz one time, and he was just like so friendly and so cracked. Those guys are doing good work in the world. And then let's see, we got also, dude, just like check the syntax. Like this is just nice. It's just the right amount of functional. It's like the tasteful amount of functional. Anyway, enough gushing about types. You know, I don't trust all this vibe-coded software. That's the only thing. It's hard to know what's real anymore. There could be so many supply chain attacks that, like, even using the harnesses feels a bit like, all right, you're pwned. But I kind of just accepted that at this point. We're pretty deep into a surveillance state, and yeah, crazy times we live in. Do you ever just look around and be like, of all the timelines, why is it right now? Anyway, I don't know. It's just very interesting that so many like the kind of digital renaissance feels like it's rising on the lower internet. Like all the nerds are like getting together and just like making tons and tons of cool shit. I'm totally convinced that typed is like an actually really important technology of the future because it allows us to programmatically describe graphics. And I don't know, maybe the graphic design AI people are already doing something else, but to me that seems kind of genius. It's like a translation layer between visuals and language. And it's like, well, it translates that to typed, and then an LLM translates English to typed to just immediate visual representation. Like I'll oftentimes be like, yeah, here's 5 things. Can you make a graphic with this? And that can look a little sloppy. I mean, they're getting like RL to look a lot better now, but what you can also do is have like brand guidelines that you adhere to, and then you can put that into the context and things will remain very consistent. So like designing is just faster than ever these days. It's pretty remarkable, but it's also kind of scary. It's like maybe this is a bit too much technology too fast, but yeah, I don't know. We're gonna ride it out. We're gonna see what goes down. It should definitely be like just a spectacular decade at the very least. Either good or bad. Like some crazy shit's gonna go down.